There we are. Ha! Again! Just in time to hear about the Fabulous Four. Time. The intangible cosmic dung beetle rolling the earth around the sun kicks us all in the face indiscriminately. Indiscriminately, but not equally. This is a story about 4 extraordinary women and 1 giant asshole. It starts at a landmark in time. On her 40th birthday, Sue Weathers discovered that she had developed an incredible superpower. Suddenly, no one noticed her in public. People would walk right by her and not acknowledge her existence. Her sister, Bryn, could scarcely believe it herself until a mutual friend approached them mid-conversation to ask where Sue was. Bryn herself came clean that evening. She, too, had a superpower. She discovered it at work. She'd been bypassed for every single promotion for several years by men who repeatedly took credit for her ideas. Most recently, she'd pitched a new perfume line made of gin for expecting mothers. It had taken off, earning the company millions in revenue. The co-worker who stole her idea was given a raise that month. Frustrated, she said, she experimented with sabotage. She gave out terrible suggestions for her colleagues to purloin. It worked. At meetings, she'd given out promotional ideas like the Monkey Prize, a free monkey for every child who phoned in, and the Truth Ball, which would answer or fail to answer simple yes-no questions. Obviously, Bryn was completely ignored when she personally voiced these ideas, but when her colleagues vocalized them minutes later, they were heard and enacted. Unfortunately for the company, they were legally required to do a massive monkey recall, as the distribution of them had conflicted on many levels with public safety and animal rights issues. Meanwhile, they faced a massive copyright infringement lawsuit for the Truth Ball, so Peter and Jeff were both ultimately let go for their respective ideas. Their friend Jane, in her early 50s, soon came out to both of them about her own newly discovered power. "I've started getting these hot flashes, but watch this," she said, wrapping her fingers around a glass of water. They watched in awe as the glass fogged up, then began steaming. Within a minute it had come to a rolling boil. "Imagine what I could do to a man!" she crowed. Not to be excluded, Jane also had a young adult daughter, Reed, who was in her early 20s. Reed was a skilled yoga instructor who had a special knack for not being taken seriously. They decided, right there and then, in Sue's kitchen, that they had to use these powers to usher in a better world. It was a civic duty. So they assigned themselves alter ego names. The Invisible Woman, the Nothing, the Hot Flash, and Miss Fabulous. Within months, they were front-page news as masked vigilantes. It was going well at first. They had cornered and forced Richard Baker, Eddie Lampert, and Brian C. Cornell to unionize their major companies. But then Jane accidentally melted the Walton family, and this brought some negative press. Soon enough, the final boss was before them. In his office at Amazon headquarters, Jeff Bezos. Jane covered Bryn to sneak past security to the intercom so Bryn could suggest security build a pillow fort together. Coincidentally, the security officers all suddenly decided that they needed to build a pillow fort together. Then, Jane had fused all the doors to the building closed while the other 3 moved ahead. Reed's job was to distract them. "Oh no! I dropped my vegan sprouted ancient maize flakes!" She bent down to pick them up. "Ooh, I love that. Yes, nubile trespasser. Pick up my Whole Foods products," Bezos mumbled lecherously. "Stop where you are, you lascivious turd!" Sue growled from behind him. He jumped in shock. "Where the hell did you come from? Security!" "They can't help you now." Bryn appeared in the doorway of the office. "They've run out of pillows, and are buying more from Kmart, where employees all have pensions now." Bezos looked like he was about to retch. He had an allergy to human rights. A rash was beginning to appear on his neck already. "It's you! The Fabulous Four!" His face reddened. "Don't burn up too soon, Jeffy Pooh." Jane appeared next. "We have a bone to pick with you." "There's nothing you can do to make me treat my workforce with humanity. Not as long as I rule this mortal domain." "Ah, but look at this," Jane said calmly, as she pulled out a $5 bill. It burst into flames before his eyes. Foam started to bubble from Bezos' mouth. He shrieked. He whipped his head towards Sue. "I urge you to pay this woman to stop burning money." "No, sir. I don't think I'll do that," Sue replied. "Then you leave me no choice." He opened a desk drawer and pulled out a glowing red stone. "Cramp tonight!" Reed screamed and fell down into the fetal position. Bryn doubled over in the doorway. Even Sue felt like she was taking punches from a furious miniature boxer. "Put it away, Lex Loser!" Jane howled, holding up a $100 bill. "Or I will burn this!" It was a standoff. "Ugh!" Bryn groaned. "Ugh! I just want to tear my guts out!" Bezos' eyes glazed over. "I want to tear my guts out." He reached down and tore through his own midsection with his bare, free hand. Briefly, Bezos held up the fistful of upper intestines, then fell face first on the desk. The Cramptonite fell from his hand. Jane quickly grabbed it and locked it in the desk. The life faded from Jeff Bezos' eyes as he returned to his throne in hell. They all took a second. "Well, wow," Sue said. "This won't make great optics for us, but it's for the greater good, you think?" Reed pulled herself to her feet. She pulled a tiny selection of essential oils from her pocket and dabbed them on herself. "Ew, there's probably polio on the floor here. Thank goodness for organic tea tree oil." The other three women led her away from the grisly scene. Scientific reasoning wasn't today's Everest. The end?